So in our vehicle resource, we have this make property, which is of type make resource. Let's go to this type. We can press F12. Okay, here's make resource. So you can see we have three properties: ID, name, and models. We use this resource for one of our API endpoints that we built earlier. We wanted to return a make and all its models. But this resource is not working for this particular scenario. So what should we do here? Well, all we need here is ID and name. Now back in vehicle resource, look at this model property. The type of this property is model resource. And if you look at this type, we have two properties, ID and name. Back in vehicle resource, the same is true for this features property. So this feature resource, look, again, ID and name. We can certainly create another resource for the make that includes only the ID and name properties, but that looks like an overkill. We have so many classes that look identical. So what I believe we should do here is to have a single class, call it KeyValuePairResource, that has an ID and name property, and then get rid of all these identical classes. So let's see where we have used this feature resource. You press Shift and F12. So here we have 7 references to this class. In features controller, in get features action, in feature resource, which is the class name itself, in vehicle resource, for the features property, and finally in our mapping profile. So we don't have too many dependencies on this class, and I can easily rename this class without breaking anything. So let's change the name of this class to KeyValuePairResource. Or we could call it ID name resource. But KeyValuePair is a common terminology. Now in the project folder, I'm going to rename this to KeyValuePairResource. Now I'm going to keep this make resource the way it is, because here we need to return the list of models as well. So this is separate from our KeyValuePairResource. Potentially, we could derive this from KeyValuePairResource, so we don't have to repeat these ID and name properties here. Now this is cleaner. Now this model resource is exactly like our KeyValuePairResource. It's redundant, so I want to delete it. Let's find all the references. So Shift and F12. So we only have a couple of references in vehicle resource and in our mapping profile. It's really easy to delete this. So I'm going to go in vehicle resource and change this model resource to KeyValuePairResource. Once again, back in model resource, let's look at the references, Shift and F12. So the only remaining reference is in mapping profile. So here we have a mapping between model and model resource, which we need to change to KeyValuePairResource. Now that we have removed all the references, let's safely delete this file. Now let's take a look at the terminal to see if we have any compilation errors. Okay, so here we have an error. In makeResource.cs, the type or namespace name model resource could not be found. So let's go to make resource. Here, instead of model resource, we need to use KeyValuePairResource. Like this. Save. All right, terminal looks good. So let's test the API. So I'm going to get the vehicle with ID 1, send. Okay, we still have these models inside make. So back in vehicle resource, I forgot to change the type of the make property, KeyValuePairResource. We don't want the complete make resource object. All right, now let's send again. We got an automapper mapping exception. So there is no mapping between make and KeyValuePairResource. So in our mapping profile, we only have a map between make and make resource. Now we need to duplicate this and change the second to KeyValuePairResource. So let's try again. Okay, we have make with ID and name. Beautiful. And the rest looks pretty good.